Good afternoon. Welcome to Teachers Retirement System Board Meeting. Today is June 20th, 2019. We're in public session. Thad, will you call the roll?
Thank you, Ms. Penny. John Adler.
I'm here.
Thomas Brown.
Here.
Natalie Green-Giles.
Here.
David Kazansky.
Present.
Lindsay Oates.
Here.
Deborah Penny.
Here.
And John Dorset.
Here.
We have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. An update on TRS operations. So we have...
Ivo Graham-Williams will provide that update.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
good afternoon. So for summer retirements, as of June 18th, TRS has received 955 retirement applications with their retirement date of July 1st. Another 29 were received with retirement dates between July 2nd and July 31st. And another 88 have been received for August. So the total summer retirement applications received are 1,072. This number is 5% higher as compared to the same time last year when we received 1,014. Benefits Administration has begun preparing these cases for processing on the associated retirement dates. For member newsletters, the spring 2019 issues of the TRS member newsletters were mailed to members and are available on the TRS website. The benefits report was mailed to approximately 84,000 retired members, in-service news to approximately 125,000 non-retired members. The newsletters are published twice each year in the spring and the fall. For membership expiration, Benefits Administration estimates approximately 1,800 memberships are set to expire by August 31st. TRS will be sending out letters to members whose memberships are about to expire next week to inform them ahead of the expiration date. And that's it.
Great, thank you, Ivo.
Thank you.
Any questions for Ivo? Okay, report from the actuary.
Yes, thank you. The first item on the agenda is the fiscal note report. There were 7 fiscal notes issued since the last board meeting, and I'm going to give a brief summary of them. The first fiscal note is related to paraprofessionals and would mandate them into TRS. Currently, membership is optional for these paraprofessionals, but with this fiscal note, it is estimated that 3,100 paraprofessionals who otherwise would not have joined would be mandated into TRS. The second fiscal note would provide Mr. Harry Sidor the opportunity to purchase up to 3 years of military service credits. There was legislation in 1998 that allows active members to purchase up to 3 years of military service credit, but because Mr. Sidor retired in 1997, he was not eligible to apply for this provision. The third fiscal note would increase the earnings limit of retirees who return to public service. Currently, if a retiree is under age 65 and returns to public service, the retiree can earn up to $30,000 before the retiree's benefit is suspended for the remainder of the calendar year. This fiscal note would increase that limit from $30,000 to $35,000. And that $30,000 limit has been in effect since 2007. The next fiscal note would permit service retirees who file the World Trade Center Notice of Participation an exemption from this $30,000 limitation, the same one I just referred to. Then there was a fiscal note issued on June 7th, which grants active New York City retirement system members a disability retirement benefit equal to 75% of final average salary if the disability is due to a World Trade Center qualifying condition. Currently, only the uniform members would get this type of benefit. The next fiscal note would allow active members of TRS the ability to claim service credit for up to 10 years of non-military federal service, such as the Peace Corps, VISTA, and Head Start. And lastly, the last fiscal note would increase the foreign equities investment cap from 10% to 30% of the fund's assets. But because of recent updates to this legislation, the fiscal note was updated to increase the foreign equities investment cap from 10% to 20%, not the 30%. And the costs are all summarized in this fiscal note report, but if you have any questions, please let us know.
Okay, any questions? Great, thank you so much. Okay, executive report, Thad?
Oh, actually,
Okay,
I'm
one more
going
item, one
to
more
talk
item.
about the loan insurance as well. So the next item for the actuary is regarding the loan insurance premium rate, which applies to tiers 3, 4, and 6. The loan insurance premium covers any loan balance outstanding upon a member's death. So if the member dies and still has an outstanding loan balance, the benefit payable to the beneficiary is not reduced for the amount of the loan outstanding. But to fund for this insurance coverage, a premium is charged, and currently that premium is 0.2% of the outstanding loan balance, but the actuary is recommending that this be reduced to 0.1%. This is based on actual experience, and generally mortality experience for teachers has been improving, and we look at this experience every year. Any questions on the loan insurance premium rate?
Okay, thank you. Now we'll have the executive director's report. Thad?
Thank you, Ms. Penny. The next meeting, it has been suggested that the next regular meeting of the Teachers Retirement Board be held on the fourth Thursday of the month, September 26, 2019. So please mark your calendars. Resolution number 2 is authorization of the controller of the City of New York to invest certain QPP funds.
Please waive the reading.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept, Debbie, I don't know if you want to.
Oh, you wanted to?
Motion to accept the authorization of the controller to invest QPP funds? So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you on behalf of the controller.
The third item is the authorization of the controller of the City of New York to invest certain tax.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
We got it in the TDA. Oh, you did, yeah.
It's
Okay,
been-
that's sorry. I thought you were
All right.
going to the actual.
So that's the resolution, you're correct, John, that's the resolution of authorization for the controller of the City of New York to invest certain tax-deferred annuity funds.
Again, waive the reading.
All right. I just want to see where it was. Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries.
Once again, thank you on behalf.
There we go.
The next item on the Executive Director's report is number 4. It's the resolution for the Board of Trustees to adopt the actuary's recommendation regarding Tier 3, 4, and 6 loan insurance premium rate for fiscal year 2020.
Please skip to the resolve.
Thank you, Mr. Kazansky. Resolve that the Board of Trustees hereby adopt the recommendation of the actuary as stated in her report dated June 13th, 2019, and stipulates the Tier 3, 4, and 6 loan insurance premium rate be reduced from 0.20% to 0.10% per annum of the outstanding loan balances for any loan originating during fiscal year 2020, i.e. July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Item number 5 is the reappointment of a doctor to the medical board.
Please skip to the resolve.
Resolve the retirement board hereby reappoints Dr. Alan David to a 3-year term on the TRS medical board expiring July 31st, 2022.
Great. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there, thank you, Mr. Dorsey. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is item number 6, and it's the qualified pension plan investment policy statement.
Please skip to the resolve.
Resolve that TRS amended qualified pension plan investment policy statement is hereby adopted, and be it further resolved that the executive director, or in her absence, the director, investment administration, and the controller's Bureau of Asset Management are hereby authorized to take any action that may be necessary to effect this resolution.
Great, thank you, Thad. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there, thank you, Mr. Brown. Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you, Mr. Kazansky. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just have a question. So there was one open issue, I believe, in one of the appendices, right? The whole thing about the ethics policy?
Which was not resolved, so the IPS, we're keeping the current ethics and compliance policy.
We can amend that at a later.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
amend
so
it at a
just to
later date
understand, so
when
that
all
the-
open issues.
Okay, so
are
that the amended investment policy statement includes the current
It-
ethics and compliance
It does,
policy.
Thank
Thank you.
what was circulated to the board is the current.
Okay,
To be
thank
clear, we have an ethics and compliance policy.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
new one
we
would
haven't
just be an
changed it.
update to that.
Okay,
That
thank you.
we'll examine sometime in the future.
Okay, thank you for
We all feel
clarifying.
better about that. Okay. Any other discussion or questions about that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is item number 7, and it is attendance at a conference. Resolved that the trustees of the Teachers Retirement Board hereby approve the attendance and participation of the executive director and/or his or her and/or her designee and any interested trustee at the National Conference on Public Employee Retirement Systems and CEPR's 2019 Public Pension Funding Form from September 11th through 13, 2019.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Good. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we have other business.
Item number 8 is also an attendance at a conference, and resolve that the Teachers Retirement Board hereby approves the attendance and participation of the executive director and/or her designee and any interested trustee at the Council of Institutional Investors CII 2019 Fall Conference from September 16th through September 18th, 2019.
Okay, sorry about that, I didn't see it. Great, is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Kazansky. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh,
I defer to
thank
the
you.
esteemed
Mr. Brown.
assistant treasurer of the
Any discussion about the conference? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now I think we'll finish with these. All right. Thad, you want to introduce the other business, this presentation?
Be happy to. We have with us today 2 of my colleagues, Ellen DeLeo and Ivel Grant Williams, who will talk about an initiative at TRS, Employer Management, ensuring efficient collection of contributions. So Ellen and Ivel are at the top of the room. I'll turn it over to them.
Good afternoon. My name is Ellen DeLeo. I am the lead enterprise business architect for TRS, and joining me is Ivel Grant Williams, Deputy Director of Operations, who is providing leadership for our employer management unit. The creation of our employer management unit will ensure that TRS realizes its goal of efficient collection of contributions, which is embodied in our mission statement. In our presentation, Ivel and I will share with you the organizational need, highlighting the critical dependency of TRS on data received from our employers, why we created the Employer Management Unit, focusing on the role this unit has in enabling us to achieve our modernization goals, the objectives and expected outcomes through the focused efforts of the Employer Management Unit, as well as business functions that the unit will perform, and achievements to date. Data provided by our employers about our members is critical to our ability to provide accurate benefits to our members for retirement, loans, and our TDA program. and properly collect contributions for both QPP and TDA programs. Employers provide human resource data about our members' employment that's used to identify the eligibility for membership, the date of membership, the tier that the member will be enrolled in, membership status, and contribution requirements, as well as to perform service crediting and calculate retirement benefits. Employers also provide payroll data about earnings that's used to validate received QPP and TDA contribution amounts, determine loan repayment schedules, and calculate retirement benefits. As cornerstone to our modernization efforts, TRS is committed to operational excellence by fulfilling our members' service requests accurately and without delay, while providing accurate and up-to-date information regarding their membership and benefits. Member centricity by working to ensure that our members' membership experience is a great one, both pre and post-retirement. And self-service straight-through processing that enables members to interact with us and receive services how they want and when they want through the use of our member portal. To achieve these goals, the integrity of data provided by our employers is absolutely essential. To this day, challenges persist with the data that we receive from our employers because of their legacy systems that can't be modified as TRS needs them to be. Also, they have different systems that report the earnings data from payroll separately from the employment data from their human resource systems, and they may be out of sync, causing discrepancies that we need to resolve. Also, manual reporting in some situations requires that we have additional coordination to be able to use and process that data. As the lead of our employer management unit, I will now walk you through the unit's objectives and expected outcomes, along with an overview of the unit's organizational structure and our achievements to date.
Okay, good afternoon. The creation of the Employer Management Business Unit creates the needed internal accountability and oversight for the integrity of all employer-provided data through a dedicated set of resources. The objectives of the unit enable us to properly collect contributions, avoiding preventable deficits, and collect them as soon as possible to reduce the burden on our members. The unit will aid in the building of productive relationships with our employers that will in turn strengthen a joint commitment to the integrity of the data that they provide us. The unit will identify and implement effective controls that will prevent and detect errors in the employer-provided data. The unit will also facilitate reporting of data errors and monitor to ensure timely correction by employers. Through our focus efforts, TRS expects to achieve accurate and current employment, service, salary, and earnings data that enable us to eliminate or reduce missed payroll contributions from members. There is also an expectation for increased responsiveness to our requests for data, reduced time in error correction, and the proactive detection of anomalies that impact data integrity and support continuous improvement of controls and quick corrective actions. The business functions of the unit include control and oversight, stakeholder engagement, root cause analysis and resolution, data quality management, and business analysis. The controls and oversight will focus on data feeds exchanged with employers to identify discrepancies, report to employers for resolution, and monitor for resolution. The stakeholder engagement will focus on working with employers to provide us with accurate and current data and alignment with our member-centric focus on our members and their employees. Root cause analysis and resolution will focus on the analysis of discrepancies to identify proper routing, reporting, and resolution of issues. The data quality management will focus on monitoring of the quality of data provided by employers to inform improved controls and provide feedback to stakeholder engagement. The business analysis will focus on providing support as part of project teams when employer-reported data is needed to implement and adhere to mandates. As part of establishing the Employee Management Group, I was brought on in April as the Deputy Director of Operations. A one-year plan has been developed and a 90-day plan is being executed. An analysis of existing controls, including error reporting for payroll and human resource-related data feeds, has been performed to create an inventory of these controls and identify initial improvements. TRS met with FISA and discussed a number of critical changes required, in which TRS secured commitment from FISA on those that they can provide, and to date has delivered on 3 of them. As part of the 90-day plan, a high-level organizational structure has been identified, while the one-year plan will define individual positions with roles and responsibilities, followed by the recruitment of candidates. Thank you. And if you have any questions, we will be happy to answer them.
Good question. How many employers do we have, roughly?
So we have CUNY, DOE, 12 charter schools, and payroll systems.
Payroll systems?
Yes, so that would include FISA and the state payroll system.
Okay. And just the next question is, how many members who are not DOE, active members who are not DOE? Obviously DOE is the majority, but I'm just curious, like what percentage is DOE and what percentage is non-DOE? You know, roughly.
Yeah, approximately full-time CUNY, and don't quote me exactly, is like 3.2%. Part-time is like 2.3%. It's in our CAFR. I could get that.
Part-time is what?
Part-time's like 3%, maybe a little bit more. So it's like 3 and 3% part-time and full-time in CUNY. The exact numbers are in our CAFR, and we can get those for you.
That's all right, I can look it up too. So, and then there's the charter
Schools, which, what do you think, Ellen?
12?
12 charter schools.
So a number of members.
What do you think? How many people?
How many members?
Less than 1%, sure.
Oh, sure. So in the ballpark, so about 94% are DOE, roughly. Does that sound about right?
That's about right.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Ms. DeLeo and Ms. Williams. That was great. Thank you. Okay. Mr. McTeague, you have a follow-up?
I do. At the last meeting of the board in May, there was a question raised about the RMD quarterly account statements, and specifically the reporting of those balances for December 31st and the relationships to the participants' required minimum distributions. TRS's system uses subsequent month unit values when expressing the cash value of a TDA account at quarter end, i.e. January's unit values applied to the December 31st account statement. We believe our practice of using the January unit value on the December 31st TDA quarterly statement reflects a more current indication of the value of the units at the time of printing of the statements. Please be assured, however, that RMDs are calculated on participant December 31st account balance. Further, TRS can also assure you that we adhere to the Administrative Code's guidelines for calculating cash value of variable units in TDA program accounts. As a member-centric organization, TRS strives to be clear in communications and is continually reviewing its business practices. As part of that review, TRS's modernization project is changing the quarterly account statements to reflect the unit value at quarter end. In our current project plan, this change should be in place before the statements for December 31st, 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Thad. Okay. The adoption of the 2019-2020 meeting calendar. Thad, you want to?
Sure, I believe Ms. Sanchez put a copy of the calendar before everyone, and subsequent to putting the calendar before you today, there was communication, and I believe we have consensus that this is the calendar for the September 2019 through June 2020 period for both the variable investment meetings and the regular board meetings. So please mark your calendars accordingly.
Okay. Any questions on the calendar? Does that meet everyone's approval? Great.
Ms. Penny, I have one item.
Just saying, appreciate the flexibility to not have a meeting on Halloween.
The most important
My
days of
6-year-old will be
the
very
year.
happy.
I thought we could have come in costume.
That would be something.
We could always do it on the 30th, that's fine too.
Ms. Penny, if I may, I have one item that
Sure.
I passed over. It is the calendar items
Yeah.
for June, and the first matter is the approval of the minutes for the May 6th investment meeting, the May 15th SIM meeting minutes, and the May 16th board meeting minutes.
Okay, is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Great, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
And we also have the reading of the calendar.
Please waive the reading of the calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Kaczynski.
Okay. Great. Is there a motion to accept the calendar?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Very good. Okay. Any questions or comments from the public? All right. On behalf of the United Federation of Teachers, the retiree group, I want to thank TRS. They gave a great presentation. Member Services came to our meeting of retirees. There were approximately close to 700 members, and they did a demonstration of what retirees could do using the TRS website, and the members absolutely loved it, so I thank you very much on behalf of them. Great. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Oh, it was great. Thank you again. Anything else? Anyone else from the public? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'm sorry. I'd also like to thank Teachers Retirement System because they came to our RMD meeting. We hosted a meeting for our retirees who are turning 70 and a half this year. And staff from Teachers Retirement System came and did a great job. So I thank you for that as well.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Do we have a motion to move into executive session?
I move pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 105, to go into executive session for discussions on specific investment matters.
Great. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor to go into executive session?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. We are in executive session. We're back in public session. Susan, would you report out, please?
Certainly. In executive session, several investment matters were discussed. Consensus was reached, which will be announced at the appropriate time.
Great. Anyone have anything else? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Adler. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.